She's so fine, fine, fine. She's so fine, fine. She's so fine.
When you order food in a Japanese restaurant, chances are it'll be served with a garnish of shiso leaves. I'd never heard of these plants until a friend told me they were edible and offered to give me some seedlings for my garden. These annuals act like perennials because they easily sow themselves. Since they're members of the mint family, they can take over an area and bully other plants, as I soon found out. Supposedly, they can escape cultivation and become invasive, but I haven't found any growing wild where I live. Shiso is native to Eastern Asia and is also known as beefsteak plant. It's used in Chinese medicine and is a popular ingredient in both Japanese and Korean cuisines. Even though shiso is grown primarily as a decorative plant here in the United States, it has several edible parts worth trying. I use a few different varieties of shiso. The small maroon one, which was given to me, and a bigger green one, have leaves with a mild taste. Another one, the largest of the group, has green and maroon leaves that taste like licorice with a hot tang. Much of what I discuss here refers to the maroon plants. No matter which variety you choose, all are edible and have the square stems and opposite leaves typical of mints. Shiso has a long growing season and is available from early spring through autumn. Young sprouts appear in early May. I use these baby seedlings and these slightly larger ones in my salads. At this stage, they resemble many other re-emerging plants. Once they get bigger, identification is easier. A way to recognize developing shiso plants is to look where the leaves meet. There's a maroon tinge in the middle of their cluster. As the leaves mature, they become more and more reddish and can be ruffled or flat. They stay tender for a long time. Pick the younger upper ones for the best taste. The entire plant is aromatic. Crush it and you'll be rewarded with a delightful spicy scent. Leaves are best harvested in the morning. Their flavor dissipates when cooked, so they're almost always eaten raw. Here are some ways to use them. Young ones from the maroon variety make an unusual vinegar. Put them in a jar and pour white wine vinegar over them. Cover, label the jar, and store the mixture in a cool, dark place. Since a metal cover might rust when it comes in contact with acetic vinegar, cut wax paper or cardboard to fit inside it. After a few weeks, strain the leaves out. The vinegar will be a lovely red wine color. The popular spread pesto can be made with any combination of greens, and shiso is one of them, since it's often substituted for basil in recipes. I make a small batch of shiso pesto and use it right away, so it's super fresh. To do this, first assemble the ingredients: olive oil, garlic, pine nuts, Parmesan cheese, and shiso leaves. Then place this mixture in a mini blender with a squirt of lemon. If the sauce is too thick, add a little water. Surprisingly, its color is green, not maroon. It does have a strong taste, but if added to foods like this soba noodles and wild rice combo, it won't be as potent. Use shiso leaves as a plant plate or as a wrap similar to stuffed grape leaves. They go well with tuna, but other fillings work too. You might want to flatten curly leaves to make them easier to fill. Both larger green and bigger maroon green leaves might work better than the smaller maroon ones. When the dog and cat days of August arrive, I have a ready-made sauce for iced tea because so many shiso leaves are available in my side garden. Taking a few won't make a dent in their numbers. To make this, bring 1 cup water to a boil. Finely chop 20 large leaves, add them to the pan, cover and let steep for 15 minutes. Strain out the leaves and press to extract all the flavor. This liquid is a dull orangey color, but if a small amount of lemon juice is added, the tea is transformed and turns bright pink. Add sweetener to taste and put in the fridge. Then enjoy this drink and you'll think it's winter outside. This is a far better thirst quencher than the now discontinued Pepsi Shiso once sold in Japan. It's best to use fresh leaves whenever possible. Even though they lose some flavor if dried, I still dry leaves to use during winter. Take these inside and place on parchment paper in a cool area for 2 to 3 weeks. Then put the leaves in a jar and label it. When I'm ready to use some, I take a small amount and leave the rest in the container so they'll remain fresh. I press the leaves through a sifter to make a fine powder. It smells spicy and fragrant. I usually mix this with roasted sesame seeds to use as a condiment in various recipes. In early September, the flower spikes of the maroon variety appear first. These look like bottle brushes and have tiny edible pink blossoms attached to a central stem by short stalks. They're covered with fine hairs. Pinch the spikes off if you want to use the leaves, but save some, as they're an aromatic addition to salads. Use the tiny flowers as well as the tubular green parts which enclose the emerging seeds. In mid-September, white flowers appear on the green-leaved variety. Later in the month, pink flowers pop up on the largest variety. Both flowers and developing seeds from all of these can be used interchangeably. My favorites are those from the maroon plants. These whole immature seed heads are delicious. I like them because of their unique and pungent flavors, which remind me of spices used in Indian cuisine. They have hints of cinnamon, basil, anise, coriander, mint, and cardamom. Clearly hard to describe. In early October, leaves of the maroon plants begin to fade, and their flowers are mostly gone. Now is the time to peel back the green parts of each seed head and check if the 4 tiny seeds nestled in the bottom of the bract are ripe. Their color should be brownish-black. Seeds of the other varieties ripen later in the month and vary in size and color. These are from the smaller plants, and these are from the largest one. It's funny how the bulbous bottom areas where seeds are located resemble the leaf bracts of hazelnuts. I thought it would be easy to obtain many seeds, but most of them fell to the ground. Once seed heads turn brown and shrivel up, it's too late. There might be a few seeds left, but you're not going to get much. So it's best to collect them when the green seed heads start to turn brown. Place them in a paper bag and shake, shake, shake. After a few days, squeeze the bag to release the seeds from their coverings. Then take most of the seed heads out of the bag. They've now turned mostly brown. Shake the bag to access the loosened seeds. Another way to get the seeds out of the seed heads is to put them in a strainer and shake. You should be able to get some to come out. Press down a little bit and more seeds will probably be available. Separating seeds from their coverings is a challenge. It's a lot of work. After all this effort, I'm left with a minuscule amount. Oh sure, they can be added to soups and vegetable dishes, but here's my advice. Don't bother with harvesting ripe seeds. Instead, nibble on the spicy immature seed heads, which include the green parts, flowers, and developing seeds. Hey, you creative cooks out there! I bet you can come up with many other ways to use this multifaceted vegetable. I look forward to what you discover.
She's so fine.